Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for once again joining me in the quest to build the best resistance training program known to man. Today, we are discussing frequency, which is defined as the amount of times that you are training a given muscle group for hypertrophy or a given movement pattern for strength sports, such as a push or a pull, a bench press, or a deadlift if you are a power lifter. Frequency is so closely associated with weekly set volume that it may be good for you to refresh yourself and go ahead and check the volume video that I made a couple of months ago, and then come back to this one just so you've got your terms defined and you can really get the most out of this frequency discussion. Now, why the heck does frequency matter? Who cares if you train 1 time, 5 times, whatever? Well, back in the day, there was some research done that showed that muscle protein synthesis, which is the building of new muscle, was elevated post-resistance training sessions for about 48 hours, but then it returned back to baseline. So the idea was, well, every 48 hours we get this chance to re-increase muscle protein synthesis. Why don't we take advantage of that for a given muscle group and continue to train that on a every 48-hour basis? It was also found that trained individuals returned back to baseline in terms of muscle protein synthesis a lot faster than untrained individuals. So the question became, how many times do trained individuals need to actually train a specific muscle group to get the most out of their resistance training? People theorized that higher frequency training would be more effective, but when the research was done, it found that if volume, meaning weekly sets per muscle group, was equated across all frequencies, there was not a large, significant difference in muscle protein synthesis. If you trained your chest at a weekly volume of 10 sets in 1 training session or 3 training sessions, the muscle protein synthesis remained the same. So this higher frequency style of training fell a little bit to the wayside. It is incredibly important to understand that the research has shown that frequency in and of itself is not a variable that we really need to manipulate for effective hypertrophy training. Frequency goes hand in hand with volume. Volume is the driver of hypertrophy, and as long as the volume is at your given level, you are going to experience gains. Frequency can be used to leverage our training to be more intelligent with our recovery systems and to understand that we don't need to do all of our volume on one given day. We can spread it across weekly training sessions. Let me give you an example. We like nice round numbers on this channel, so let's say for chest, you need 10 working sets for effective hypertrophy. Obviously, there are individual differences, but like I said, I need round numbers or my brain starts to hurt. So we're gonna go with 10 working sets per week. Now, you could do all of those sets on one day. Let's say you're training chest on a Monday and you go through 4 sets of bench press, 3 sets of push-ups, and 2 sets of cable flies to get you to that 10 working set range, that beautiful hypertrophy range that you have discovered for yourself. It could be that after the 4 sets of bench press, you've gone a little heavy on your weight, your intensity's up, and you start to lose mind-muscle connection on your push-ups and on your chest flies. You're over-pumped, and you feel like you're not getting very effective sets. This is obviously incredibly subjective, but if you feel like you're not really getting the effective stimulus that you need, 9 times out of 10, that means that you aren't getting the effective stimulus that you need for growth. Now, if you take the intelligent approach, maybe you don't do every working set on a Monday. You do your bench press on a Monday, 4 hard working sets, you get effective training done, then you say, okay, I'm gonna rest and I'm gonna cool it on my chest until about Thursday when I'm adequately recovered. I'm gonna come back into the gym and do really great work on my push-ups and my cable flies, really getting a great mind-muscle connection, metabolite accumulation, everything that triggers effective growth, and then you are done with your weekly set volume spread across 2 days. If you wanted to get really wild, you could spread it across 4 days, but in that case, it may be more effective to increase the weekly volume because doing 2 sets or 3 sets on a given session is kind of a waste of time. You're doing a lot of warm-up sessions and your working weight really isn't as effective. So it may be that if you are going for higher frequency, leverage that ability to recover a little bit more and add in a little bit more volume, as long as you are within your maximum recoverable volume and your minimum effective volume, right? As long as you're staying within those ranges for your volume, whatever you've determined that is through hard training and practice and being mindful with your training, then you can kind of leverage your frequency based on, I do really well training chest 3 days a week, but I don't really do well training legs more than twice a week, so I'm gonna do my frequency that way and build an incredible training program that's gonna get you you the best results. From personal experience over 3 years of training for myself, I have understood that my shoulders do really well with a lot of volume, but session by session, after about 5 or 6 sets, my shoulders are pretty fried and I feel like I lose some intensity, I lose some focus, and I don't really get the best stimulus past 6 or 7 sets of shoulder work per session. So I have leveraged that and moved my session by session volume a little bit lower, and I have created more sessions of shoulder work throughout the week, especially when I'm on a hypertrophy block. This is why it's incredibly important to keep track of these variables, because if you don't understand how well you grow with 10 sets versus 15 sets, and how well you grow with 5 sets on a given training day versus 10 sets on a given training day, then you cannot manipulate these variables effectively, and you're gonna keep spinning your wheels and not getting the most out of your training. My goal on this channel is to get you 100% the best results that you can get. We don't settle for 85, we don't settle for 90%, but that takes a little bit more mindfulness in our training, a little bit more work on the front end and on the back end, not just the training in the gym. We have to be intelligent with our programming and understand how these variables affect us on an individual basis. Through years of training, you will build your knowledge on how many weekly sets you need, how many per session sets you need, and you can leverage them into a better training program. So understand your frequencies, use them to your advantage, get the best out of your training that you possibly can. If all of this stuff sounds like an alien language to you, well, that's what I am here for. I do online coaching, and I would love to get you started with an incredible resistance training program to get you the results that you want, as well as some nutrition to help fuel that resistance training program. You can email me, DM me on Instagram. I'd love to get started with you. But if you want to keep going on your own and figure all this stuff out for yourself, you can click right here to start the journey of resistance training from the beginning with the resistance training playlist that I've built for you. Get strong and stay strong, folks. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.